In this session on customizing Power Apps portals, we're going to take a look at Azure B2C branding and also passing attribute values to Dataverse. Today, we'll learn how to identify locations in the Azure B2C tenant where branding is applied. We'll understand logo and background sizing. We're actually going to apply a custom logo and test. And then we'll mark some user attributes to be collected and passed to Dataverse, and we'll also test that. So our use case today, we've set up an Azure AD B2C. As you can see in the image below, it's fairly benign, has a gray background and no logo. And we want to customize this. In addition, when the user signs up, we want to collect their first name and last name and pass that to Dataverse so we have accurate information in our Dataverse contact record. So where do we do the branding? This is all done in the Azure portal. It's a point and click. The hardest part, or most complicated part actually, is just creating the logos and getting them installed. Some things to note. In this scenario, we need images, not custom code, to apply our branding. Images have specific height-width ratios, and images have size limits. And you will need permissions in the Azure portal to apply the branding. Now, custom attributes, the second part of our use case today, it's really a twofold process. First, we identify the attributes in Azure that we're going to pass to Dataverse. We identify them as claim values, which will get them sent to Dataverse. And then in Dataverse, we're going to write a couple of equal statements to tell Dataverse which attribute on the contact equals which attribute that's coming over in the claim. Some attribute mapping notes. We do the attribute mapping and attributes in the Azure user flows. We've been there before when we configured Azure B2C. We don't want to forget the Azure user flow. We need to add it as a claim, otherwise it won't show up in Dataverse. A tip here to run the user flow and get the JSON so we can see the attribute name if we create a custom attribute. And we must remember when we're doing our equal statements in Dataverse that there is a protocol here, and that's the Dataverse attribute value equals the attribute value from Azure. If we put them the other way around, they would not get mapped properly. So now we're going to do a demo, and we're going to start out with company branding, images, and sizes. So now let's take a look. So we're in Azure. We're going to start in our B2C tenant. On the left-hand side of the B2C tenant, you'll see a link for company branding. Now in this particular case, we're just going to have the default. There's two places we're going to be looking at. We're going to look at the sign-in page background image, and we're going to look at the banner logo. Our sign-in page background image has an image size of 1920 by 1080, and the file size has to be less than 300 kilobytes. Our banner logo has an image size of 280 by 60 pixels, and it has to have a file size of less than 10 kilobytes. So when I go to company branding, I can open this one. This is where we're going to put our background image. This is where we're going to put our logo. First, let's test it. In our user flows, let's say our sign in user flow. If I run the user flow, you can see that we get the gray background with no logo. So now let's go back and let's apply our logo. Company branding, default, choose our logo file, branding images, logo. Save it. Now let's go back to our user flow. I think there's going to be one more step, but we're just going to test it, and I'll show you. And there's our logo on our sign-in page. Now we want to get the background. In Azure B2C, company branding. You can see now it says we have a banner, no logo, or no background. So let's select our background image. If your background image is too big, or if your logo image is too big, it will not work and it will tell you that it's too big. Okay, we got that applied. Let's go to our user flows. And I'm going to show you something here before we run this one. This is inside the user flow. There's a page layout section. And in this page layout, if anything, when you first build your user flow, these are not set. So you just need to pick the most current number that's there. These are not numbers that you created. They're created by Azure. Create the most current, and that will apply your branding. When you come in here, it might be empty and not selected. So let's run our user flow. And now you can see that we have a background image. And we have Power Apps Portals as our logo. Let's continue now and talk about user attributes. When we come into our Azure B2C tenant, there's a section over here called user attributes. This is not where we need to go. We need to start in the user flow. And so which flow are we talking about? We've been working with our sign up user flow for the portal we're working on. So this is where we need to start. You can see there's user attributes here and there's claims. User attributes are what gets collected on sign up. Claims are what get passed to Dataverse. Attributes collected on sign up, user attributes. Passed to Dataverse are application claims. So let's go into user attributes. And we said we wanted to pass the last name, which is a surname, and the first name, which is a given name. So now it tells you up here, user attributes are values collected on sign up. So if we just do this, these attributes would be collected on sign up. If I run user flow, sign up, you'll see now we have surname and given name. The second part is getting the attributes passed to Dataverse. So we're going to pick given name and surname from our list and save it. And now these will be passed to Dataverse. The question is, how do I know what the name of the attributes are when they're passed to Dataverse? And what do I do inside of Dataverse? So let's run our user flow. If I click up here to the top, this gives us a JSON readout of what the flow description looks like. So if I click on this, you can see down here I have given name and family name are in my claims. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to throw it in my notepad. And so we're going to have Dataverse attribute equals Azure attribute. So we have given name and family name. So let's go to Dataverse now and figure out what is the last name. So it's going to be something like last name equals given name. Actually, that's first name. First name equals given name, and last name equals family name. But we need the actual attribute name from Dataverse. And then we'll come back and write these little formulas. Go to Data, Tables. We're going to find the contact table and then find out what is the column official name for last name and what is the column official name for first name. So we search here, we could probably search last. So last name is literally just last name in all small letters. Last name equals family name. Again, Dataverse, Azure. Now we need the first name. And the first name is like that. And now we have first name equals given name. This needs to be in a comma separated list. And I'll show you where this goes now. So I copied that to the clipboard. So now we'll go back to our apps, into our portal authentication settings. Authentication settings, Azure B2C settings. And on the right hand side, there's additional settings. In the additional settings, we have registration claim mapping, and it shows you the format. And these are created during sign up. And it shows you an example of attribute 1 equals claim 1. So we go back to our notepad. We'll copy this in. And we'll hit save. Now when we register, our first name should come from the given name and our last name should come from the family name. So we've talked about company branding, images, and sizes. We've applied some company brandings. We've identified attributes to pass to Dataverse, and we configured the portal settings. Now we're going to test by registering to see the branding and passing attributes to Dataverse. Then we'll go into the portal management app and verify that the contact record is updated. So let's go to our portal and sign up and see what's going down. So we'll browse the website. It'll launch our portal. When we're signing in, we can see our logo in our background. We're not going to sign in, we're going to sign up. portaldev1@hotmail.com. We'll send the verification code. You can see the email. The email even has our logo in it. We'll verify the code, put in a password, and put in our last name, first name, Portal Dev 1 user. We'll click create. After we click create, it routes us to our profile page. We have our first name, last name populated from the sign up. and our email address is passed automatically. And click Update. And now we're signed into the portal, and we're at the home page. Now let's go into the Portal Management Studio, check out the contact to make sure the record was updated there. So we'll go to Apps, Portal Management. Inside of Portal Management, we'll find the contacts. We'll refresh our list. We have Portal Dev 1 user. And you can see that is their first name, last name, and email address was populated from the sign-up. So I think we've covered our testing. During registration, we saw our branding. We went to Portal Management app to verify that our contact was updated. So I think we were successful. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and stay tuned for more videos on customizing Power Apps portals. Thank you.